I want to get the Platinum Trophies for the entire GTA series. I'm someone that's pretty new to these games because I've only ever played GTA 5 and half of San Andreas before. This all changes right now because I'm going to Platinum the entire series and bring you guys along for the journey as well. And my journey begins in Vice City. The main trophy I'll be working towards while playing the game is for getting 100% completion, and while I go for this trophy, I'll naturally unlock almost every other trophy in the game as well, but it wasn't without its problems and we'll get to that later. I'll also be focusing on getting these 4 missable trophies so I don't need to play the game a second time around as well. The main character, Tommy Vercetti, was released from prison after serving 15 years for murder. His boss, Sonny Forelli, sets up a drug deal in order to expand operations in the south. He sends Tommy and a crooked lawyer called Ken Rosenberg to oversee it, and things all go wrong when the group is ambushed, but fortunately, they both manage to escape. Upon starting the game, my friend recommended that I do a vehicle mission called Cone Crazy in a specific way to save myself hours of grinding at the end of the game. Cone Crazy requires you to maneuver around a car park roof, going through checkpoints and avoiding smashing any of the cones. Each successful lap gives you a set amount of money, and if you improve on the previous time, the game doubles your reward. You have to do this for about 30 minutes while very slowly increasing each lap by about a second, and by the end of it, you end up with around $100 million cash and unlock the Bloodstained Hands and take the Cannoli trophies, which were my very first 2 unlocked. Before I actually started playing the game, I wanted to get the Somebody Call the Wambulance trophy, and to get this I needed to complete Paramedic level 12, which involves collecting injured people across Vice City and bringing them back to the hospital. This was really easy and was mostly just a way to enjoy driving around Vice City. I got to a mission called Back Alley Brawl, and during this mission I met one of the main characters in the game called Lance Vance, whose brother was killed in the ambush, and since we both had a common enemy we decided to work together. After this short interaction I got the Greasy Palms trophy for using a police bribe to lower my wanted level. Shortly after that, Ken Rosenberg gave me a mission to start a riot and destroy some delivery trucks, and so I did, and I got the Legal Counsel trophy. Next up was the first of the 4 missable trophies, and for this one I had to kill the property developer with a golf club during the 4 Iron mission. I thought this was going to be a pretty simple task, but things didn't immediately go to plan. I tried to drag him out of the golf cart but ended up getting in myself, and I couldn't get back out again because the guards were blocking the door, so they dragged me out and I couldn't get up straight away because they were stood on top of me. Fortunately, I managed to drag him out of the second cart just in time before he got away, and after swinging at the air a few times I finally got him and unlocked the Irony trophy. Straight after this I went and got the second missable trophy during the Demolition Man mission, and in this mission you have to place bombs inside a building using a remote control helicopter. Before I could do this though, I needed to kill everyone inside the building with the blades of the helicopter to unlock the Chop It Up trophy. Then I spent the next few hours completing some story missions, mostly for Diaz, who me and Lance thought had a part to play in the ambush of the drug deal, and I got to a mission called Supply and Demand, and Diaz wants me to buy drugs from a dealer that only comes by once a month and they only sell to the first customers. So I had to race other buyers to the boat, who then got a bit pissed off with me when I beat them, so I had to defend the boat on the way back to land, and once I got there I unlocked the South American Connection trophy. Soon after I get informed by Kent Paul that Lance has been captured by Diaz and is being tortured at the junkyard. I ran straight there and got to bussing at everyone who stood in my way, and after heroically saving Lance it was now time to make a move on Diaz. Now was the time to get the 3rd missable trophy, and this would be the last one that I got until pretty much the end of the game. To get this trophy I needed to kill Diaz using the M4 during the mission Rubao.
Say goodnight, Mr. Diaz.
This is where Lance starts acting really weird. I kept getting phone calls from him telling Tommy that he wanted a bigger slice and to not treat him like a kid like his brother did.
Tommy, we gotta talk about stuff.
What's the problem, Lance?
It's you, my friend. I feel you're not giving me a fair slice. And more than that, you've been embarrassing me in front of the boys. I can't have that.
It was clear to me that Lance wasn't a fan of Tommy's dominance in Vice City, and I started to grow suspicious of him. Now it was time to do the final mission for Cortez, a man we met near the beginning of the game and did a few missions for. I was quite fond of this character because of his loyalty and respect to Tommy throughout the game, and in this mission I had to help Cortez defend his boat from the French while he attempts to escape. I was blowing boats up left and right, sniping helicopters, and even defended the boat when it was being boarded. After the chaos subsided, I received a boat as a gift and got the Life of the Party trophy. This was definitely one of my favourite missions in the entire game. It felt like something out of an action movie, and I enjoyed every second of it. At this point in the game I wasn't receiving any phone calls that give me any more missions, and I was pretty confused. I didn't want to look anything up to avoid spoilers, so I decided to go and buy every property that was available to me at the time, and I got the Vice City Mogul trophy. I bought the rest of the properties later on when they became available. I went back to Club Malibu and it turns out there was a mission available there. In this mission you have to rob a bank and make a getaway, and this was by far the hardest mission in the entire game for me. I tried and failed about 5 times in a row because the people you do a heist with are very weak and die very quickly, which is how I failed most of my attempts. And that's when I decided to go and do something else for a little bit. My friend recommended that I go and do Pizza Boy to get a permanent 50 health upgrade, and to do this I had to deliver pizzas to customers in a similar fashion to the paramedic missions, only this time I was dashing pizza boxes at customers' faces. After delivering 10 pizzas I got the Pie Guy trophy, then I just had to complete level 10 for it to count towards the 100%. I then got one of the big grinds out the way by collecting 100 hidden packages for a trophy. By doing this I unlock a tank, the Hunter helicopter, and now I have access to a bunch of weapons permanently at my safe house, one of which was the minigun, and this is what I'll be using to get me through the job mission. And after that I decided to go and finish off the rest of the assassination contracts for the Gun for Hire trophy. When doing this I ended up getting a 6-star wanted level for the Catch Me If You Can trophy as well. For this next trophy I needed to help Mitch Baker get his bike back. After getting slapped off his bike a few times I managed to survive against a ton of enemies, and eventually I escaped with a blown tyre and completed the mission with a single health point and got the Hogtied trophy. Then I completed a set of missions for the band Love Fist. The band are being stalked by a crazy person and they've planted a bomb inside the limo. To defuse the bomb I needed to drive the car as fast as possible for about 2 minutes straight, so I made my way over to the beach because this seemed like the longest stretch of land in the game. After listening to some of the most irritating dialogue in the entire game, I completed the mission and unlocked another trophy. For the final gang mission I had to creep up on the ops and blow up a building. I failed this mission a few times because I had no idea how to escape the compound, but I got there eventually and unlocked the trophy. It was now time for the final story mission of the game. Earlier on I received an important phone call from Kent Paul who sent me a warning.
Alright, Tommy, it's Paul. I just heard from a mush that you've been a real naughty boy. Somebody's taken offence to you acting like the big guy all of a sudden. Giving it a big shot thing. Well, don't say I never warned you or nothing. Boasting is a mug's game, son. Anyway, I heard there's some prize been put on your head and someone's going to have a crack at you, so watch yourself. And remember me, mate.
At this point I was fairly certain of what was going to happen during this mission. After all the whining from Lance and how obviously unhappy he was working for Tommy, it was inevitable. Sonny Forelli turned up at the mansion with a bunch of goons, and it was then that Lance betrayed Tommy by telling Sonny that the cash we were going to give him was counterfeit.
No, I sold you out, Tommy. I sold you out. The real cash is upstairs in the safe.
At this point, Sonny sends a seemingly infinite number of goons inside the mansion, and while fighting them off I had to chase Lance to the roof, where I'd eventually kill him for the betrayal. After making my way back down to the lobby, I also killed Sonny, and once the final cutscene finished, I unlocked another trophy. At this point, all I had left to do was a bunch of side activities and some grinding towards finishing the 100%. The first thing I did was try to do a wheelie for 30 seconds, and this was proving to be quite difficult at first because if the back of the bike scrapes along the ground, it doesn't count as a wheelie. After a few attempts I got the trophy, and I also managed to do a wheelie for 90 seconds. Check me out. After that I did the Vigilante missions for the Running Rampant trophy, and when I was doing this I also got the trophy for causing $1 million worth of damage. Next it was time to complete the remote control vehicle races dotted around the map, and I got a trophy for completing my first one. This next trophy was quite annoying to obtain. I had to earn a score of 5 while playing keepy uppy with a beach ball, and what made this difficult was the camera angles. No matter how hard I tried, it was seeming like I could never get the perfect angle to be able to get under the ball for more than a few attempts. After about 10 minutes of trying, I finally managed to get the angle I was looking for. At this point I started collecting vehicles around the map to complete the Sunshine Autos import lists. Doing this I unlocked the Deluxo, so I headed to the airport and hit max speed in it for another trophy. Shortly after that I also got the trophy for collecting every car listed at the garage. For the next few hours I was dropping passengers off in a taxi. I needed to do 100 of these for the 100%, but after 25 passengers dropped off I got another trophy. The entire time I was also listening to music from each station to work towards another trophy, but we'll come back to that. Next up was the firefighter missions. Again I needed to complete level 12 for the 100%, and this proved to be quite difficult at first. You have to go around the map putting a bunch of fires out, but the passengers inside the cars are actually on fire as well, and they always get out and start running off in different directions, and when you spray them they go flying down the street, which caused me to fail my first attempt. After getting the hang of it I managed to get it done the second time around and unlock this trophy on the way to level 12 for putting out 10 fires. It was now time to get the fourth and final missable trophy. For this I had to complete the mission G Spotlight without falling from the rooftops. The objective was to hop across buildings on a bike and light up a building at the end. After getting to the end, the trophy unlocked. For this next trophy I had to complete 36 unique jumps. These are dotted across the entire map and have to be done in a specific way to actually register. I went round and completed all of them in a couple of hours, and after hitting the final jump, no trophy. I was absolutely fuming. I did every single jump in the game, but some of them must not have registered and I hadn't realised. I tried to guess which ones I'd not done properly, but it was pointless. I had to do every single jump again and hope that it was one of the early jumps. Fortunately for me, it was quite close to the beginning, but there was still a 15-hour gap between this trophy and the last one. We're at the final stretch of the game now and there's only a few activities left to do. One of them was to listen to all the music stations at least once. I was doing this throughout the entire game and listening to every station in long durations while playing, but the trophy still didn't unlock. I tried everything that was suggested and it still wasn't working. So all I could think of was to listen to each radio station fully in one go, so I did just that, and after about 6 hours the trophy finally unlocked. This one really annoyed me. All that was left to do now was earn the Stuff of Legends media rank, and to get this I just had to cause chaos around the city, so I got into my Hunter helicopter and blew everything up I possibly could and unlocked the I'm Famous trophy. By now I'd done absolutely everything in the game and I was checking things off as I went, but I still only had 99% completion by the end of it all. I was well and truly pissed off at this point. After 30 hours I'd done everything the game asked of me, only to fall short of my reward right at the end. I hadn't used any cheats while playing the game and I had absolutely no idea what to do now. I went round redoing some of the activities like taxi missions, police missions, but to no avail. After bitching to my mate about the game, he suggested that I redo a mission at the docks and it should give me the extra percent that I needed. I gave it a try and sure enough, I got the extra percent and unlocked the final trophy for 100% completion and the Platinum Trophy. I've finally achieved my very first Platinum Trophy in the GTA series and I'm really glad I started with this one. Which game do you think I should do next in the series? Let me know in the comments below, and if you want to be part of a growing community on Discord full of gamers and trophy hunters, then click the link in the description. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one.